There it was, Karen's shiny black luxury SUV, sinking nose first into the muddy edge of my farm pond, wheels spinning and mud bubbling up like some cursed cauldron while she stood on the bank, screaming, "Someone do something." And me? I was just sitting in my old Excavator, drinking my coffee, watching this circus like it was the best show on TV. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why? Would a middle-aged farmer ever want to sink an HOA president's SUV with heavy machinery? Trust me, 3 months ago, I never would have pictured myself in that situation either. But when a woman who thinks bylaws outrank property lines shows up, treats your hayfield like her personal event space, and then parks her car on your land for days, patience runs out real quick. So buckle up. Because this isn't just a story about a car getting stuck in the mud. It's about what happens when city rules meet farm justice, and how one HOA queen learned that, out here, the land still has the final say. Let me back up a second. I was born and raised on this patch of earth. My dad worked this ground before me, his dad before him. We run cattle, grow hay, mind our own business. It's not glamorous, but it's honest. The kind of place where sunrise means chores, and nobody's ever asked what color my barn is. That's the way I liked it. Out here, nature makes the rules. Fix your fence. Keep the well clean, let the cows roam. Never needed a committee to tell me how tall the grass should be. Then, 2 years ago, the subdivision showed up. Developers scraped up the old cornfield down the road and built Meadowbrook Estates. The sales flyers said, gated community, luxury living. Like a guard shack makes it special. But it wasn't the gates that worried me. It was the HOA. You know the type. A handful of clipboard warriors, convinced they're the last defense against chaos. At first, I ignored them. Let them worry about mailbox heights and lawn stripes, I thought. Just stay out of my pasture. Then Karen showed up. She introduced herself at the farmer's market, called herself lifestyle chairwoman, which I guess means she's the HOA's queen bee. She wore yoga pants worth more than my entire outfit and looked down her nose at my eggs like they'd just come out of the wrong end of a chicken. "This is quaint," she sniffed, "but maybe you should elevate your presentation. People in our community expect certain standards." I just smiled and told her folks around here like it fresh and simple. She gave me that look, you know, the one where you can tell she thinks you're the one who doesn't get it. I should have known that was just the warm-up. A week later, a glossy HOA pamphlet landed in my mailbox, inviting me to align with community standards. My family's land, suddenly, it was an eyesore for their Instagram feeds. I tossed it, but the notices kept coming. One morning, I found a piece of paper taped to my barn, violation. Unpainted structure, improper equipment storage. It was laughable. My land, my barn, my rules. But Karen didn't see it that way. To her, my farm was just the ugly backdrop to her suburban kingdom. And she was determined to civilize it, with or without my blessing. Next thing I knew, HOA folks were walking the fence line, taking photos of my cows, jotting notes like they were on safari. "We're documenting potential nuisances for community review," one told me. Nuisances? I said, "They're cows. They moo." That night, sitting on my porch with a cold beer, I realized these folks didn't move to the country for the peace and quiet. They wanted the postcard version, but couldn't handle the real thing. Karen, of course, led the parade. She'd slow roll past my place every morning, tossing out suggestions: repaint the barn red. Your hay bales look messy. We'd love to do yoga by your pond. I tried patience. I really did. But patience only works when both sides have boundaries, and Karen didn't have a clue about those. It started with no parking signs staked in my ditch. Then came the beautification crews, planting HOA flags right up to my fence, like they were claiming territory for Meadowbrook. When I asked what they thought they were doing, one of them said, "We're ensuring overflow parking doesn't disrupt community harmony." Lady, it's a cow pasture, not a strip mall. The real trouble started when Karen parked her SUV on my hay road and just left it there. I walked up, tapped on her window. "Karen, you know this is my land, right?" She barely looked up from her phone. "Technically, it's rural access. I needed parking. Tractors," she said, "could go around." I nearly lost it. For 3 days, that car blocked my path, rutted up my road, and every time I asked her to move it, she'd just smirk and talk about community purposes. She even brought new HOA residents by for a tour. pointed at her car, and called it overflow parking. That word, expanded, stuck in my craw. This wasn't expansion. It was trespass, plain and simple. And then, as if that wasn't enough, I woke up one Saturday to find Karen had set up a full-blown event by my pond. A tent, wine glasses, yoga mats, the works. "Welcome to Meadowbrook's first farm-to-table brunch," she crowed. "Isn't this setting divine?" My chickens attacked her. Yoga group, my ducks bit a guy's ankle, and my cows lined up at the fence, mooing like it was the halftime show. "We're raising awareness for sustainable living," Karen told me, as if that excused trampling my hayfield. I told her to pack it up. This was private land, not a park. "Don't be so dramatic," she said. "We're improving your property. You should thank us." That's when something snapped. "You want messy?" I said, staring at her SUV. "Keep your car here, and you'll get it." That night, with the moon shining off the pond, I walked down to the water's edge and started hatching a plan. You see, that ground by the pond is tricky, solid on top, soft underneath, the kind of mud that'll eat your boots if you're not careful. Next morning, I took the excavator, worked the soil just enough to make it look inviting. One wrong move, and gravity would do the rest. Sure enough, come sunrise, Karen drove her SUV right down to her favorite spot, waved at her friends, and parked like she owned the view. I watched, silent, waiting. She started bragging about future weddings, HOA retreats, all while the tires slowly began to sag. I fired up the excavator. "You think you can intimidate us with that toy?" she yelled. I just grinned, scooped some dirt, and let the ground do its thing. Suddenly, the SUV's nose dipped. Karen screamed, the wheels spun. But the car just slid deeper, water licking the bumper. "Do something," she shrieked. I sipped my coffee. Looks like it found the valet spot. Within minutes, the whole HOA crew was in. Meltdown, shouting, snapping photos, dialing phones. But no tow truck dared tackle the mud, and no deputy was buying Karen's story. The local sheriff showed up, looked at my deed, looked at Karen's soggy SUV, and told her, "Ma'am, this is private property." Her insurance agent laughed her off. By noon, the story was everywhere, videos online, memes flying, even a reality TV scout sniffing around. For rights, Karen never did get her car out in one piece. She moved away not long after. Legend has it, the HOA stuck her with the cleanup bill and a mountain of fines. My pond became a landmark. Neighbors stopped by to take photos. Even the cows seemed prouder. So yeah, maybe it was a little dramatic. But sometimes you have to stand your ground, show folks you can't be bullied, and remind them that boundaries still matter. Because out here, respect isn't enforced by a committee. It's earned, one muddy, sunken SUV at a time. Now, I want to hear your stories. Ever had a neighbor or an HOA try to steamroll your boundaries? Drop your story in the comments. Let's see who's got the wildest tale of property line justice. And if you want to hear more real stories from the front lines of rural life, hit that subscribe button. I've got plenty more where this came from.